Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Challenge. We have two European brandies. The first is from 1715, Martell, the really old cognac house, older than Hennessy, older than Courvoisier. Martell VS, very special. Fine cognac. Well, VS is the base, the 3-star. In England, they call it 3-star. That's the old way of describing it. Or VS here in Europe, very smooth. The second is its age, around 2 years. The second grade is VSOP, very smooth old pale. Usually you'd be around a 4-year age. And the XO be around 6 years. But most brandies have no age statement, so because they're usually blends of different old, and new, fresh, and all. So you have to go with the youngest age anyway, so they just don't put an age statement. They don't want to put like 1 year old, even though they might have brandy blended in that's 25 years old, you see. So here's a perfect example of that. The Fundador, Brandy de Jerez, Solera Reserva from Pedro Domecq, the founder, Pedro Domecq. Fundador Solera Reserve. Very popular in the Philippines. Not popular in the United States. Used to be popular in Spain. I don't think they drink brandy much in Spain anymore, kind of like France. Cognac is produced in France, but only about 1% of it is consumed there. 99% is sold overseas, especially to East Asia and Southeast Asia. But anyway, most stores I go to do not have the Fundador. But I did see this at, of course, Savannah Discount. And it was, I think, $13. $13.99, $14. It's normally about $16. So I got a little discount. I think it was $13. I figured I'd buy it bottled in Spain, imported. Okay, so imported by Fundador Import Company, Deerfield, Illinois, USA. So that's their import headquarters, Brandy de Jerez. All right, and there's a Brandy de Jerez website which covers all the different brandy production in that region of Spain, southern Spain, across the sea from Africa. Now remember, Spain and Africa are only 8 miles apart. You could take a ferry, which I wanted to do last year, but then something happened and I couldn't go to Spain. In Spanish Africa. Very disgusting. I got the website links below. The Martell, it says, this is their base model. You remember that. I did not pay much for that small bottle. I got it, of course, at Savannah Discount. Had a real good deal. I think it was 2 of these for $11. These 200 milliliter bottles. If you get a full 750 at Total Wine and More, it's $31. So you're going to pay $30 to $32 for it. I'm telling you. Let's see. Forgot to make my tags. Do that right now. I was forgetting something. I got delayed because, well, one reason is I was uploading a video and then the thing failed. Sometimes the upload will fail. And I had to redo it. And it was a long video anyway. So I had to finish letting that, I had to let that finish doing its thing. And that was for a flavored malt beverage, but it's another story. Fundador, if you see it, it's usually about $16. So I got a few dollars off on it. Penny saved is a penny earned. So I did get it a little cheaper than normal. I think when I was at Savannah Discount last week, I noticed I think they had 1 bottle left. They had all these other brandies. Some of them I had never even heard of. Some old Courvoisier variants that are no longer produced to my knowledge. But, you know, I can't get everything. Cannot just be buying everything. I mean, I guess I could if I went mad, but I'm not going to do that. I don't really want to buy too much. I've got too much as it stands now. Okay. They're saying single distillery. It's produced at a single distillery. Now, they only sell it in a 700 milliliter bottle in Europa, in France, but we get 750s here. We get a better deal. Get bigger beer bottles, bigger liquor bottles. It says, smooth and fruity, the Martell single distillery cognac is great for cocktails. I'm telling you right there, it's great for cocktails. In other words, it's not made for sipping neat, which is what I'm going to do today. Fundador Solera. Now, they use the Solera method. And if you know about the Solera method, you can't put an age statement. I'm not going to go into that now. But if you read about it, there's no way you could put an age statement. And you certainly couldn't put a vintage on it. Aged in oak cask, giving it nobility. And they say on their website that they age these brandies, the Fundador, and there's so many Fundador brandies. And just like the Martell, you could spend all day just looking at the Martell brandies. Some will cost you $3,000-$4,000. Same with this. There's Fundador Gold Reserve, Fundador Exclusivo, Fundador Light, Double Light, and then also Tres Cepas Light, Tres Cepas VS. There's Doble y Triple Madera. That's another version. And then there's a Supremo, 18 years. So they do have age statements there. The Fundador Supremo, 18-year age. Now, I know that's not going to be $13. And you know that just as well as I do. Wooden cellar. The sherry cask collection. So, I mean, these are going to cost an absolute fortune. Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, 12-year age. Amontillado sherry cask, 15-year age. Oloroso sherry cask, 18-year age. Well, we're not even going to deal with that right now. It's going to cost a fortune. Morning, Ryan. Morning to you, Jeep and Foodie. Caleb. Now, all of their brandies are aged in ex-sherry casks, okay? Cracking open this bottle. See, I had 2 for $11. I used the first bottle up. So here's our second bottle. Gonna last a good little while. Remember, when it goes in the barrel, it's clear. They show a video right there on this link. You know, a little short video, and they're pouring the brandy in the barrel. It's clear. The wood gives it color, and plus they might add caramel color. Bourbon whiskey's clear when they pour it in the barrel. Well, it's actually not bourbon till it ages. When they pour it in the barrel, it's just moonshine, grain spirits, more or less. It's when they let it age. Or, of course, you might have rye, wheat, barley, whiskey, corn whiskey, but then they let it age in that barrel for at least 2 years, and you got straight bourbon, and it's going to have that red color from the barrel char. All right. But anyway, this is cognac, which, just like they say on the Fundador website, they said, unlike gin or whiskey, which is produced from grain, cereal grain, they said our products are produced from wine, and wine is produced from grapes. So whiskey and gin, cereal, and most vodka, but there's potato vodka, is cereal grain based. Brandy is fruit based. First you make the wine, and you distill the wine, and you got brandy. That's why the name brandy came about, because it was Dutch, Brent wine. Brent wine was burnt wine. That's what that came from. And there's brandy wine in English, brandy wine they called it, and then they just dropped it and shortened it to brandy wine to brandy. That's why you had the Battle of Brandywine Creek and all these towns brandy wine. Okay. Well, the appearance is about the same. But I see the Martell is a little darker. Here comes daylight. I should be out walking in a few minutes, but I'm kind of reticent to get out there. It's 43 degrees. I was so cold yesterday walking in the morning. I said, oh, why didn't I wait till the sun came up? It was not pleasant. At least there was no wind. But I was like, golly, it's cold. Dr. Frosty Brew. Cheers, Ron. Cheers to you. All right. But it was just a fantasy. Okay. I think that's a good enough mixing up. Can't remember which is which. Who's going to win? Well, I don't know. You say, well, wait. You're doing cognac versus brandy. That's not the same product. Cognac is brandy. It's a type of brandy. It's just that it's produced in Cognac region of France near the Atlantic Ocean. That's all it is. Yep. It's just brandy. Okay. But they got their designated European Union, structure in there, legal structure, so nobody else can call their stuff cognac except for stuff from cognac. Because if you look at the old advertisements for Fundador, which I posted in Alcohol Eggs from the 1960s, they calling it cognac, a wonderful cognac, but it was made in Spain. So then they decided, no, you can only call it champagne if it's from Champagne, France, and only cognac from Cognac, France. All right, like Pilsner, supposed to come from where? Pilsner, Czechia, but that's a style, and they never could pin that designation down. Pilsen. The old saying, all cognac is brandy, but not all brandy is cognac, right? All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon, and so on. Well, this smells very pungent. Well, somewhat pungent. I don't want to overplay it. There's some kind of wood, and it's like burnt wood. Like if you say smoky, you mean smoky? No, I would not say smoky, but charred. Like the charcoal. Yeah, charcoal. Let's see. And what is that? Like caramel candy? Like those with those Hershey's caramel squares. Isn't that Hershey's that make those caramels? People cook with them, or you could just eat them. You could eat them. Buy them in a bag. All right. Don't know which it is yet. Whoa. France and Spain, neighboring countries with joint rule over Andorra. At least in a ceremonial sense these days, Andorra, that mountain country in the, what are those mountains on the border between France and Spain? I was trying to say the Andes. No, not the Andes, but there's a little mountain country called Andorra. Instead of having a war over it, they decided we'll just share it. So the president of France and a Spanish bishop, I don't know which bishop, they're the co-rulers. But that's really, that's like an honorary title these days. Since 1993, they've let Andorra really rule themselves internally. And so that's why they allowed them to join the United Nations in 1993. The United Nations organization said, well, we consider it an independent country today. Even though technically it isn't, we're going to just go ahead and let them come in. From the pick a mix at grocery stores, ours doesn't have theirs anymore. Oh, Brock's Caramel Squares. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another brand, but I don't see that. I just see the almond bark. But they got the Hershey's Caramel Squares at local stores here. And some people might sell Brock's. I don't know. So Spain and France have traditionally been allies. They did have wars against one another during the Napoleonic era of revolutionary France because, and during revolutionary France's days because, well, Napoleon was sort of like one of those wacko European conquerors who want to take over all of Europe, but then of course they never succeed. And so he invaded Spain because he wanted to take it over, and he failed. This one's sharp. This one's very woody, but it's like a sharp wood, juicy. It's like liquor soaked wood. You know that aroma? Like wood that's saturated with whiskey, but this, of course, is brandy. Ronald the Ride says Drewski Brewski. So I think that's the Martell, and I think that's the Fundador Solera Reserve, but I don't know that. So Bourbon, France. The Bourbon family, starting with Henry IV, who converted to Catholicism to become the King of France in 1589, right? Till he was assassinated in 1610. But he was the first Bourbon. And then remember, the Bourbons of France became the kings of Spain with Philip of Anjou. In 1713, well, really 1700, but the war lasted 13 years because the rest of Europe was enraged that the King of Spain would become the King of France also. So they worked that out through war. They settled it through fighting, but so then you had two branches of the Bourbons, but they were still the same family. But the French Bourbons got overthrown finally in 1830. Then their cadet branch, that means the lower branch of Bourbon Orleans, took over with Louis Philippe. Then he got run out 18 years later. And that was the end of the Bourbons, or the Bourbon Orleans, gone. I mean, they're still around, but they're not in power. But they're still on the throne in Spain with another Philip, King Philip. His father got exiled. He exiled his own father, or his government did. His father was always involved in these scandals. They had all kind of financial scandals and whatnot, and they told him, you ought to leave. So he left, like he's living in exile somewhere. Talking about Juan Carlos, John Charles. House of Bourbon, probably sitting around drinking Spanish brandy, trying to, I don't know what he's doing. Oh well, time to taste. What they got? Queen Sophia. Oh well, it's a complicated history. That tastes kind of fruity, kind of grapey. Mostly use white grapes, they said. White wine, not too much red wine. You could make it out of anything. You can make brandy out of apples. You can make brandy out of oranges. Oh, yes. They traditionally make it out of grape wine, but you don't have to. You don't have to. You got all kind of brandies you can buy. I never tried any of the apples or brandy or anything, but I guess they're probably good. Beard is looking good, man. Cheers. Oh, thank you. So this one tastes kind of basic, which is fine. Wood, grape skins. Can you pick up the alcohol? Well, yes, 40% alcohol. Yeah, you can taste that. But it isn't harsh or anything. It's kind of smooth. Must be the Fundador, I'm having fun by the door. I'm having fun by the door. I'm having fun by the door. Fun the door. Did you find the door? I was lost. It was dark. Then I found the door. I found the door. Hey, Pedro, I found the door. Oh, good. We can name a brandy after it. Okay, cheers to this one. Martell. Mart, tell them to hurry up. Mart, tell them. Tell them, Marty. Oh, oh, snap. Oh, bazam. Haha. Woo. Grapey. You say grape. You mean like grape jelly? No. Near. Grape like white grapes. And like golden raisins. I kid you not. Golden raisins. You know those yellow raisins you get from the Sun-Maid? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yet they're not from California. Do they make a lot of brandy in California? Yes, they do. Does California grow a lot of grapes? Yes, they do. They have almost as many grapes in California as they got liberals. Oh, all right, but not that many. Like Maud said, remember Maud in 1972? Fellow liberals, fellow liberals. All right. Golden raisin. Oh yeah. That's really what it tastes like, golden raisin. What about the wood? 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 They're both smooth. This one has a little more bite to it. The body's medium on both. The finish is like medium long. So, but this one, see, this one has like, I was going to say coffee or tea, some kind of, but I think it's like very light roasted coffee, not medium roast, not dark roast, like light roast. Like the coffee beans are roasted, also very light. Well, now here's Mr. Helper. Over here to help, aren't you? Yeah, this does have that light coffee taste. It's strange. Oh, so very strange. Now, which one do I like better? Now, remember, you got to listen for the silent E. Look, $32 versus $16. That's a big difference. That's twice as much. So the Martell is going to cost you twice as much, $32 versus $16. Guess I'd rather pay $16, assuming the quality is even. Dark Lotus said, I asked for prayer requests the other day. Come to find out, the abdominal pain is pulled muscles from a new exercise. Oh, good. Well, I mean bad, but good. The non-alcoholic fatty liver is apparently borderline. I don't know. Guess you better be safe than sorry. So, tasting liquors can be a fun hobby, but it's like fire. You know, fire is useful and dangerous. You can cook with it. You can burn your house down with it. The fatty liver was from eating Taco Bell. Oh, Taco Bell. Okay, Dark Lotus. Get fat eating a Taco Bell? Ha ha ha. I used to work at Taco Bell from 1987 to 1991, and I could cook that beef to a T. And I could fry those shells to perfection. Believe me, they always had me on that fryer. I mean, I ran the drive-through, perfectly. But they say, oh, no, got to get him off the drive-through because anybody can do that. Not as well, maybe. But get him on that fryer because those shells are perfect. And I would have it done. I had it down. I had it nailed. And I had that, when I was cooking the beef, I had it nailed. And they had some wonderful beef. This is not 1991 now. I don't know what they do today. Oh, I had that meat so good. Well, I have to say, the Fundador is going to win because of virtue of the price difference. If I got to pay twice as much, but I'm only getting, well, actually, I'm not getting any better product. They both very good quality wise. They're both pleasant. There's no nasty or off flavors. I'll say that for sure. They're not the same, but they're very close. You get these VS brandies, they'd be so close. Now you can get some that are harsh and have a bad bite, like these American brandy. Got to watch those. You get the American VS, they'll have some harsh bite. The one that's the most glaring is the E&J, Ernest and Julio Gallo E&J brandy VS. Woo, that'll scratch you like. So it's kind of rough. But then it's only made for mixing, and people make hot toddies with it. That's all they do. They get a sore throat. They say, "Oh, darling, just sit on the couch. I'm gonna make you a hot toddy." You know, their grandmother does it. Let me get the honey, you know, and the tea, and the, you know, that's what that's used for. Parmesan VS brand amber. It's a lot less bitey. Still kind of rough, but it's a lot less bitey. Christian Brothers VS, yeah, it's kind of bitey. It's got that little. So if I was going to drink an American VS brandy, I guess of the three big ones, the three biggies, of course, number one, the E&J, number two, the Parmesan, and number three, the Christian Brothers. They're all big. See them everywhere. I guess I have to go with the Parmesan. It's a lot smoother, rounder. Yeah, I know it's from New York. Christian Brothers and E&J is from California. And I know that they aged the Parmesan at Bardstown, Kentucky, at Barton 1792 distillery, which makes bourbon mainly, but half the barrels would be Parmesan. The lady told me that on the tour. She said, she said, do you know what most of these barrels in this room contain? And I raised my hand. I said, brandy. She said, oh, she looked at me shocked. Yeah. Half our production here, not production, aging, is Parmesan. Brandy, she said they rent it. Like, you know, they rent the barrels from Buffalo Trace / Barton 1792 distillery. And they age it for them. As long as they're getting paid, they don't care. Remember when that barrel house collapsed in 2018? The whole thing fell and all the barrels rolled into the river, busted open, and all the brandy, it was brandy that went into the river. It killed all the fish. It was Parmesan brandy. We know you love that Hartley brandy. Well, I wouldn't say that I love it, but I see it everywhere. Oh, man. Those people are wild. Hartley, oh, man. And that's aging over there, too. They're not going to talk about that, but that's aging over there, too, because Hartley is a Sazerac brand, and they bringing that stuff in from Italy and blending it with some American reject stuff, I'm sure. Ooh, but there it is, Total Wine and More, selling Hartley brandy like it's a respectable product. And I can go to some of these liquor stores. They'll have a display. This month only, Hartley brandy for only $6.99. And I'm thinking, ooh, they should pay people $6.99 to drink it. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Somebody likes it because I see it selling everywhere. Everybody sells well, not Matherns. I asked Matherns, like, why y'all don't sell certain products? They said, we try not to attract a certain clientele. I said, makes sense. But when Dixie got no shame, they'll sell Hartley brandy with a straight face. Cheap and all right, so I think this is the Martell. It better not say F. That's Fundador. Ha, 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 got it. Ha, 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 ha. Well, what set it apart was the saturated wood flavor. That it tasted like wood that was saturated with brandy or some sort of liquor. So that was really the tipping point. But they were very close, very, very close, very, very close. So do I like both? Yes. Which one would I prefer? Either one. Which means I would prefer the Fundador because it's half the price. I'm going to let you pay the $32. I'm going to just pay the $16 and get the Fundador, or go to Savannah Discount and get it for $13 with their crazily low prices. Okay, I got to get off of this. It's been 30 minutes. If I had time, or if y'all had wanted to hear it, I would tell you what I got at Walmart yesterday. The greatest deal in the world. But people probably don't want to hear that. But anyway, I got some liquor deals yesterday at Walmart that was off the chain. And I wasn't even going there to buy that. I was going to check on Old Overhaul because I found out that there's 2 Old Overhauls currently on the market. Well, actually 3, which I was shocked. One's being phased out or has been phased out, but the bottles still are there. And then they got these other new Old Overhauls. I was shocked. So very shocked. But it's actually more than 3. Craziness. But I went over there. They did not have the Old Overhaul that I was looking for. So I was so disgusted. Then I looked to my right. I was stunned, incredibly stunned. Oh, what did you score? Oh, somebody does want to hear it. Okay. So I said, oh, heck. All they had was the modern Old Overhaul, which came out last year, apparently. The red cap. I didn't know why they changed the caps because Walmart had black caps and red caps. I'm like, why they got 2 different labels? I didn't know. But the red cap is the 86 proof, non-chill filtered. The black cap is the 80 proof chill filtered. They both aged 3 years. I said, oh, it's 2 different. What they did was they didn't raise the price, but they improved the quality, apparently, of the Old Overhaul. Now it's 86 proof and it's non-chill filtered. That's why they changed the cap, so that their distributors could know which one to rotate. So I was like, woof, I got to go run to Walmart and get that before it's gone, the $15.99. It's only $15.99. But it was gone. Walmart's volume is so incredible. Like, they'll sell out. Like, they might get a case of Old Overhaul, put 24 bottles on the shelf. They'd be gone in 2 days. So I might go check Winn-Dixie. They don't sell too fast because their prices are so outrageous. I'm not paying an outrageous price for it, though. Anyway, they had only red caps. The red cap. I said, oh, hell, I have that. So I looked and I said, bottles, glass, 750 bottles. They must have been in from the warehouse because I thought they had cleared those out 2 years ago. There it was, $5 with the yellow tag clearance. $5. I'm not joking. Clan McGregor. I said, well, do I need Clan McGregor? Answer, no. Have I had enough Clan McGregor? Answer, yes. Am I going to pass it up for $5 a bottle? Answer, no way. Normal price, $12. They're selling it for $5. If you're out of your mind, you'll pass that up. I wasn't. $5 for blended Scotch whiskey from, Common Sense Scotland. I said, well, I'm buying that. I said, look at this. And then I turned. They got yellow tags everywhere. I said, oh, for shizzle. They got yellow tags all over the place. Walmart's going buck wild. And I'm about to go buck wild. So I saw Tullamore Dew, blended Scotch whiskey, triple distilled. Tullamore Dew, that's famous. That's a famous brand. They got all kind of variants. But they had the regular Tullamore Dew, green label. $13. I checked Total Wine when I got home. It was $26. $26, they got it for $13. Well, I got the tag right there. Everything was half price, $13. I said, oh, I can't pass it up. Who knows when I'll get to it, but who could pass it up? So I said, let me get out of this place. And then I turned to my left. I said, Old Charter, number 8. They're in a lawsuit right now because they said that people said they deceived them, trying to claim it was 8 years when it's really only number 8. I can understand that's a little deceptive, but I don't know how the lawsuit's going to turn out. $8. Old Charter for $8. Now, I'll challenge you right now. Go find Old Charter for $8. I'm talking about a regular bottle, not some little sample bottle. You know the answer. You're not going to find it for $8. You will not find it for $8. Normal price, $16. So everything was half. I said, oh, it's illegal in Louisiana to sell liquor for less than cost. But how you going to enforce that? You know, ain't no way they paid $8 and marked it up 50%. They're selling it for below cost. They're trying to get rid of it. They're going just to the big handle bottles, the glass handle bottles. But what they're going to do, have revenue agents walking around the whole state of Louisiana looking to see what stores selling stuff for? That's not going to happen. And anyway, a revenue agent ain't going to go in Walmart and see anything wrong. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Now you use your imagination and figure out why. You figure out why they're never going to see nothing wrong. And I'm going to leave it at that. But incredible. I got full-size bottles. Tullamore Dew, Old Charter, straight bourbon, not blended bourbon, straight bourbon from 1874. That's when it was introduced. I believe that's the year. And Clan McGregor from 1934. And it cost me $28.52 after, you heard me right, after tax. After tax. After tax. Thank you. Well, you never know. You just never know. And I never dreamed such a thing was going to happen. Couldn't believe it. I never see marked down liquor at Walmart says Jeep and Foodie. I don't know what's going on at this Walmart half a mile from my house. I don't know what's going on over there. But I know I like to scout it out once a month because you just, they got wine in a can from California to $6 a can, $6 a can. Well, last month they had it marked down to $2 a can. 67% discount. You think I wasn't going to buy it? Of course I bought it. I love Tullamore Dew. I've never had it, Jeep and Foodie, Caleb. I never had Tullamore Dew, but I'm planning on trying it soon. So it was an incredible day, incredible afternoon. I could not believe it. I mean, I could believe it because it happened. I bought it. I believed it. But you know what I'm saying? People use that expression. I could not believe it. Shocking. Thanks, everybody. Now it's time to go walking, get some exercise on this miserably cold day. Look at the daylight coming in the house. Told you. Dawn busters. Tomorrow. Oh, well, that's going to be a contest because it's going to be Martell Blue Swift finished in bourbon barrels. Oh, well.